What if the air you're breathing right now just vanished? In a heartbeat, every living thing on this planet would face chaos beyond imagination. Picture the sky turning pitch black, your ears exploding from the pressure drop, and the ground crumbling beneath your feet. That's the nightmare we're unraveling today. What happens if oxygen disappears from Earth, leaving us in a world without air? Hit that like if you're ready to uncover the science that could reshape how you see every breath. Let's start by wrapping our heads around why oxygen is the unsung hero of our existence. It's not just fuel for our lungs. It's the glue holding our world together. Oxygen makes up about 21% of our atmosphere, a delicate balance forged over billions of years. Without it, everything unravels fast. Think of it like pulling the plug on a massive life support system. Your body right now relies on oxygen to turn food into energy through a process called respiration. Strip that away, and you're left gasping in a void where survival hangs by a thread. But this isn't some far-fetched sci-fi plot. It's grounded in hard science from recent studies and simulations that paint a terrifying picture of sudden loss or gradual fade. To make this personal, imagine you're out for a jog on a sunny day. Suddenly, oxygen's gone. In the first few seconds, you'd feel a strange lightness, like the air's been sucked out of the room. That's because without oxygen, atmospheric pressure drops by about a fifth. It's like being yanked to the top of Mount Everest in an instant. But worse, your eardrums would burst from the rapid change, causing excruciating pain and deafness for anyone unlucky enough to survive the initial shock. And that's just the start. Fires everywhere would snuff out immediately. No oxygen means no combustion. Cars, planes, anything relying on internal engines would grind to a halt, mid-motion, jets plummeting from the sky, vehicles stalling on highways, creating a global pileup of epic proportions. But let's zoom out to the bigger canvas. Earth's crust is 45% oxygen by weight, locked in rocks and minerals. If oxygen vanished from the air, those bonds wouldn't break overnight, but the immediate ripple effects are brutal. Concrete, that sturdy stuff holding up our cities, is riddled with oxygen in its chemical makeup. Without atmospheric oxygen to stabilize things, structures could weaken rapidly, turning bridges and buildings into dust piles over time. A viral thread from oceanographers last month highlighted how even subtle shifts in oxygen levels in water bodies are already stressing marine life, but scale that up globally. Catastrophe. Recent simulations from NASA scientists warn that, as the sun heats up over the next billion years, oxygen could naturally dwindle, but a sudden disappearance, that's apocalypse now. Drawing from cutting-edge models published in Nature Geoscience earlier this year, researchers ran hundreds of thousands of scenarios on supercomputers. In nearly all of them, oxygen crashes hard when carbon cycles break down. Without oxygen-producing plants churning away, methane floods the air, turning our blue planet into a hazy, uninhabitable rock. One post from a math professor on X nailed it. Oxygen levels will drop due to solar radiation spikes in about 1 billion years, wiping out most life before Earth gets scorched. But what if it happened tomorrow? Drop in the comments. Would you stockpile oxygen tanks if you knew this was coming? Now, let's humanize this by looking at the heroes who've pieced together our oxygen story. Think back to the Great Oxidation Event, some 2.4 billion years ago, when tiny cyanobacteria, those ancient microbes, started pumping out oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. It was a game-changer, sparking the evolution of complex life. Fast forward to today, and scientists like those at the University of Connecticut are diving into oxygen-free zones, like arsenic-rich rivers in Chile, to understand how early Earth microbes survived without it. One team found blood-red microbial mats thriving in zero-oxygen conditions, using arsenic instead of oxygen for energy. It's tense work. Imagine wading into toxic waters, equipment failing from the harsh chemistry, all to unlock clues about our planet's past. A recent X-semantic search pulled up viral clips of divers exploring oxygen-depleted ocean dead zones, where fish float belly up in eerie silence. These explorers risked their lives, dodging hydrogen sulfide clouds that could knock them out cold, just to warn us about creeping deoxygenation from climate shifts. One near-miss tale comes from a 2024 expedition in the Pacific, where a submersible hit record depths only to detect plummeting oxygen levels from warming waters. The crew barely surfaced in time, hearts pounding as alarms. It's stories like these that blend triumph with terror. showing how our tech breakthroughs like AI-driven sensors mapping ocean oxygen in real time are racing against time. A fresh NOAA report from September flips the script on skeptics who say we're doomed, spotlighting prototypes that could artificially boost oxygen in depleted zones. But the buzz on X Threads is electric. Private ventures are pouring billions into bioengineering solutions, from superalgae that hyperproduce oxygen to atmospheric scrubbers inspired by space tech. It's not just science, it's a human drama of ingenuity versus inevitability. Shifting gears to what lies ahead, the implications are as optimistic as they are grounded in reality. Tools like AI simulations are crunching petabytes of data from global sensors, predicting oxygen trends with pinpoint accuracy. Imagine curing diseases tied to low oxygen, like chronic lung conditions, by mimicking those ancient microbes, or fixing climate woes. Warming oceans are already losing oxygen at rates that could collapse fisheries, but models show that slashing emissions could buy us millennia. Skeptics argue the tech isn't ready, pointing to how high-altitude living stresses the body, triggering genes like hypoxia-inducible factors that ramp up red blood cells. But a counterpoint from last month, SNSF-funded study reveals how microbes in oxygen-free environments could inspire biofuels, turning waste into energy without needing air. It's a double-edged sword. Tech's power to sustain us, balanced against nature's hidden traps, like rising methane that could accelerate the loss. Yet, amid the hope, there's urgency. We're on the cusp of breakthroughs, but missed this window, and you'll wonder what we left undiscovered. Picture AI forecasting an oxygen dip from a massive algal bloom gone wrong. Could we deploy fleets of drones to aerate the seas? Engagement from ex-users echoes this. One thread with over 1 million views debates whether net zero carbon goals might ironically starve plants of CO2, halting oxygen production and turning Earth Mars-like. But logical reassurances tie back to credible sources. A 2025 model from Japanese researchers shows that even without a biosphere, oxygen lingers for eons before fading. It's evergreen. Our quest for survival mirrors timeless human drives, from ancient cyanobacteria conquering a toxic world to today's innovators pushing boundaries. Now, let's plunge into a bold what-if scenario that feels cinematic, like a thriller unfolding on the brink. Envision a world where oxygen starts vanishing gradually, not in seconds, but over decades, triggered by a rogue solar flare supercharging atmospheric breakdown. Our story centers on Dr. Alina Vasquez, a brilliant climatologist in a bustling lab overlooking the Pacific. She's poring over data from predictive models that outpace anything we've seen, crunching variables from sunspots to microbial shifts. One night, alarms wail, oxygen levels dip 1% globally. Panic ripples through cities, people hoard masks, governments scramble. Alina teams up with a rogue engineer, Kai, who's built an underground network of oxygen farms using genetically tweaked bacteria that thrive on arsenic, pulling from those Chilean mat discoveries. As levels plummet to 15%, chaos erupts. Animals collapse in waves, starting with hematabolism, birds plummeting mid-flight, then mammals gasping in streets turned silent. Alina and Kai race to a remote facility, dodging riots where skeptics clash with believers. In a heart-pounding vignette, they dive into an oxygen-depleted cave, suits failing, only to find a glowing microbial ecosystem defying physics, whispering secrets from eons ago. Like a bioluminescent archive of Earth's first breaths. Using AI to simulate petabytes of evolutionary data, they engineer a superstrain that floods the air with oxygen, reversing the tide. But the twist, it mutates, creating hybrid life forms that challenge humanity's dominance. In the climax, Alina stands on a cliff as the sky brightens, oxygen surging back, but with a new ecosystem humming below. It's awe-inspiring, a hidden world, revolutionizing energy, where microbial power grids light cities forever, outpacing fossil fuels and solar combined. This tale isn't just speculation. It's plausible, drawn from real models showing oxygen's variability on exoplanets. The abyss stares back, reminding us that depths untold in our atmosphere hold both doom and salvation. Tag a friend who needs their mind blown. Would you risk it all for one glimpse into this future? Wrapping this up, reflecting on Earth without air shifts, how I see our fragile blue dot. It's a wake-up call. Every breath ties us to a cosmic dance, billions of years in the making, where curiosity and progress are our best defenses. This changed how I view the world, appreciating the invisible force that lets us dream big. Smash subscribe for more dives into the impossible. Comment your wildest theory below, and share this with your adventure squad because the air's calling, and who knows what answers you'll uncover next.